So factor in the things that you look for in a smartphone. For me, it's usually that I want an elegant phone that's also easy to handle, that's reliable to use, and that provides a great camera and audio experience. All these factors truly sold me on the HTC 10. This was hands down my phone of choice in early 2016, and the perfect segue for my excitement with what HTC had to offer in 2017. I was very impressed with what the company showed me back in January, and now it's time for our full review. I'm Jaime Rivera with Pocketnow, and this is the htc-u-ultra. For the sake of being objective, and since this isn't really a comparison, I decided to spend the past 2 weeks with the U-Ultra as if it lived in a bubble. For a diehard fan of HTC's legacy, the idea wasn't really difficult. But if I had to judge my time as if it were a Facebook relationship status, let's just say that it's complicated. Like the F-150 that I owned at the turn of the century, the HTC U-Ultra is large and in charge. This is a beautiful phone that turns heads no matter where you take it. There's just no way to ignore how beautiful this reflective back glass is, and how elegant it seems from a distance. Now, pardon the analogy, but as much as I love the visual aspect of the F-150 that I owned, I also feel the same way about the U-Ultra. The problem was every time I tried to park that huge car, and let's just say that I have the same problem with the U-Ultra. This thing is more than 3 inches wide and pretty much more than 6 inches tall, meaning that you can forget about using this thing with one hand. And obviously the footprint is not easy to handle on your pocket anywhere either. I don't find the finish to be slippery, which is a plus, but all that at the expense of this phone being an odd lint magnet near the camera hump, and then a fingerprint magnet everywhere else. I highly suggest you use the case that's bundled in the box because falls won't really do this phone well. And for those bezel Nazis, the 69% screen-to-body ratio might be a source for complaints, but it all goes away once you fire up this display. This 5.7-inch Quad HD Super LCD 5 is hands down the best LCD I've ever seen. Those fans of AMOLED will be happy to see inky blacks and then insane punch-in reds and blues. Match this with the Boom Sound Hi-Fi tweeter at the top and the woofer at the bottom, and this is seriously an awesome phone for consuming content.
Looking at the raw file of a yellow flower, we lose almost all of the structure.
I would even go as far as to claim that this is a great phone for gaming, since the added heft actually helps with that. The internals are also more than well equipped for the task. We have a Snapdragon 821 processor, 4 gigs of RAM, and our unit has 64 gigs of expandable storage. Now, features missing from a standard flagship are IP68 water and dust resistance and wireless charging. Quick Charge 3.0 is here, and great that it is, because the fact that this phone is still running on Android 7.0 Nougat, along with the meager battery pack that's included, will barely last you through a day. And everything else, HTC Sense continues to be one of my favorite Android skins. I love the elegant theming option and how fluid the phone is. The company has managed to match stock Android elements with its famous skin just perfectly, and it continues to avoid duplicating efforts with Google, which I commend. If you notice that I haven't yet mentioned the secondary display, well, it's because I'm still trying to figure out its purpose. First, I thought that it had everything to do with the HTC Sense Companion, but now that it's here, I almost feel compelled to turn it off. Sure, it needs to learn from me over time, and it seems that it needs more time so far. And I do know that it'll make your phone more efficient over time. The problem is when it starts suggesting things that are focused solely on consuming products, like the sponsored ads that I find on Blink feed all the time and that are really irritating. In my opinion, smartphones are meant to help you be more productive, and the last thing that I want is more distractions from unsolicited advertisement. It's cool if you get discounts, like in the case of whenever you buy a Kindle, for example, but you're not getting any discounts for this phone at all. A major high point for this phone is HTC's choice for cameras. It seems that the company has finally figured out how to deliver a great camera, because there is no other way to describe it. We have a 12 ultrapixel shooter with 1.55 microns on the sensor, OIS, and f1.8 aperture. I am just in love with how this phone handles bokeh and macro shots, and the insane color saturation and detail. I also love that it's a solid performer in low light. And with the whole approach to the selfie, I also really like this whole concept of having 4 ultra pixels when you want them and 16 megapixels when you don't. And if video is your thing, then you'll also love this phone's stabilization, and I do love this 3D effect in audio. It's just awesome. So far, this is one of the things that I'm delighted about the most with the HTC-u Ultra. Definitely the camera experience is top-notch. Overall, we have tried to be as objective as we can with this review. On its own, the HTC-u Ultra is a gorgeous device with one of the best screens I've used and an awesome camera combo. Sadly, the problem is that it doesn't live on its own. For a whopping $750, you don't really get water resistance. Its design is actually larger than all of its newest competitors, and all the while dropping essentials like a headphone jack. And then the whole argument of AI being essential to this phone seems to be more of a concept than anything after 2 weeks. For die-hard HTC fans, this will be the most beautiful HTC 10 you've ever owned. And that's really not me mistaking the name. This is pretty much an HTC 10 with another chassis and with lesser features. And that's sad because I really want to love this phone, but it's sadly too late for 2017. Folks, just like this, we've got more reviews in the pipeline, so make sure you follow us on social media and hit that subscribe button down below for more videos like this one. You can also follow me on Twitter, Jaime_Rivera, or on Instagram at Jaime Rivera. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like what you saw. I am Jaime Rivera. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.